Action Sports Jacks 24/7 presents Jacksonville Armada Soccer, sponsored by Alive Credit Union.
Good afternoon and welcome to Patton Park, the site of this afternoon's WPSL matchup between your Jacksonville Armada women's under-23 side and football club Prime Time. It's a fun name. They used to be FC Prime. They added some time, and now they're Prime Time. I'm Stuart Weber, here along with Louis Lorandi for this afternoon's action in the Women's Premier Soccer League. And Louis, this is a big one. We got two really solid teams facing off against each other here at Patton Park.
Obviously, FC Primetime coming up from Sunrise, Florida. It's going to be a test of two undefeated teams like you just mentioned. I know the girls in blue want to get another win and continue that streak.
As mentioned, the girls, once again, in blue. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for your home team, the Jacksonville Armada Women's Under-23 team. As you take a look at the starting lineup that head coach David Goff is trotting out there this afternoon. In net, Morgan Weaver. The back line consists of Kylie Overstreet, Hayden Petrick, Caitlin Seaborn, and Landry Bauer. In the midfield, Maddie Williams, Liz Ann Fogarty, and Nancy Almanza. And up top, Gianna Ramirez, Tally Hines, and Sarah Brunner. We mentioned Liz Ann Fogarty. She often wears the captain's armband. She's leading the team in scoring with 5 goals. A lot of that due to a hat trick in the last away match at AGC football, Lou.
Some absolutely great goals scored by the captain, Liz Ann Fogarty. Been an absolute menace in the midfield for the girls in blue. Those last 2 goals are unbelievable strikes. You got to watch that third goal again and again.
You take a look at the current WPSL Sunshine Conference standings, and as mentioned, these are 2 of the top teams in the Sunshine Conference. FC Primetime, undefeated, 4 wins in 4 matches, while the Armada, 2 wins and that draw against the West Florida Flames, one of the other presumptive favorites here in the conference. As for FC Primetime, let's take a look at their starting lineup. Between the pipes will be Ella Stevens. Her back line consists of Carolyn Beltran, Katarina Dantas, Bryn Forchick, and Asia McCleary. In the midfield, Cheyenne Lamb, Alyssa Mercier, and Kayla Master. And up top, Isabella Fernandez, Jules Johnston, and Megan Morgan. That is your starting lineup for the visitors from South Florida, FC Primetime. As Primetime comes to Jacksonville to take on the Armada. And you're going to watch it right here on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. We've got your match coming up next, right here on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers. And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
The rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with we Armada rolling off our tongues. Never will we roam, for we know our place is home. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing.
Champion Law will fight for you till the bitter end. We suffered several injuries along with the car being totaled. They checked on us literally almost every day for the next 2 weeks, just making sure, are you okay? Do you need anything? Even Chris was texting us, like, what can we get you? Campione cares.
Action Sports Jacks 24/7 presents Jacksonville Armada Soccer, sponsored by Alive Credit Union.
And welcome out to Patton Park, of course, our national anthem. Wrapping up here as we get set for some WPSL action between your Jacksonville Armada and FC Primetime here on Action Sports Shacks 24/7. Appreciate everybody joining us here this evening for a little WPSL action. We actually have a doubleheader here at Patton Park today. I'm Stuart Weber here in the booth with Louis Lorandi. The men's under-23 team will play an away, quote-unquote, game at 7:30 here at home.
Yeah, they get matched up with Club de Leon, comes up from Central Florida. It's going to be an interesting match. Both teams played very tough whenever the team from Orlando came up originally. It was 3-2 in the first matchup, so I know Tommy Krzanovich is going to want to get all 3 points once again and continue that undefeated streak.
Let's take a look at your keys to the match, and I themed these here, Louis.
Oh, the alliteration.
A little alliteration today. You got to feed the forwards, first of all. We have so many talented players up top. Ramirez, Hines, and Brunner, all 2 goals apiece here early on in the season. Your second key, it's got to be finding Fogarty. She's in the middle of the field. She's really the key to this offense to make it click, Lou.
Well, yeah, this year it's kind of been different. I'll come at you with some more alliteration. You got to free Fogarty. Fogarty last year played a lot in defensive. She had to make up a lot for defensive mistakes, and now this year she's able to roam free in the attack and get that boot behind the ball and absolutely strike those shots.
And your final key to the match, hey, it's a familiar field. A lot of these players are Jacksonville FC products. They have played many a match here at Patton Park and are very familiar with this facility, Lou.
Yeah, every week the girls in blue practice here right at Patton Park here off of Hodges Boulevard. This is a field that they know really, really well. And like you mentioned, tons of those ECNL girls on this roster where this really is JFC's home park.
It certainly is, and tonight it is the home of your Jacksonville Armada, both the women here at 3 o'clock and the men at 7:30. By the way, if you're watching this somewhere in Jacksonville, unable to make it to this afternoon's matchup, come on out for free this afternoon. The NPSL's top team, the boys in blue, will be in action as they get set to take on one of their staunchest foes of the year in Club de Leon. But first, we got to talk about the ladies. Coming off, well, I guess the word I would use, Lou, is dominant. Does dominant feel like a appropriate word to use coming off of an 11-0 victory on the road last week?
Yeah, they had a great win over a great club.
Very good.
It was really just an absolute dominating match. I know Goffey had his foot on the pedal the entire match, wanted to know and make these girls known that they are the dominant team within this Sunshine Conference. Obviously, that draw against West Florida Flames earlier in the season, they actually won just last night 12-1 in another dominating fashion over the Northport Fusion. So I know Goffey's going to want to maintain that first position in the league, get as many goals as he can to secure that goal difference.
By the way, heart goes out to the Fusion. That was their second match in 3 days. They had to play as well at home on Wednesday against Florida Gulf Coast Dutch Lions, and then they had to go on the road to West Florida on Friday. That's a tough little stretch when you got to put 2 matches here back to back as we are getting set to start this thing off at Patton Park. Of course, the girls in blue, well, they're wearing blue. As one would expect. We'll be going from right to left on your screen. FC Primetime in the yellow tops, black shorts, black socks here at Patton Park. We're looking for a final confirmation that we are ready to start this thing off here in the WPSL. And there the whistle blows. We are officially underway. We've seen this before from the Jacksonville Armada. They like to try that first kick, give it a shot on goal. That went a little bit off the mark.
Yeah, last year that person was Chloe Chivers that used to take that midfield shot. And it looks like it's this year's big boot, Liz-Ann Fogarty, taking up that space instead.
Fogarty certainly a leader of this club, not only in goal scoring. She has 5 now on the year and has scored in every match thus far this year, but also as far as veteran leadership. A lot of younger players on this team, and Fogarty has played a big role in bringing those players along and getting them to learn head coach David Goff's system here early on in the season. As you see Jacksonville on the early press looking to make Primetime make some mistakes.
I'm in and around the Patton Park practice facility a lot, and I get to see Liz-Ann really teach these girls, you know, her knowledge. She's been in the game for such a long time, had such a fantastic college career, ending it off right here in Jacksonville at UNF, just 10 minutes down the road. And so I know she's instilling her knowledge and instilling Goffey's play style on those girls.
Yeah, Clay High School grad, so one of our locals, one of many locals on this year's roster. Talking with Goffey, you know, he made a point to me that this year there's going to be a big emphasis on going young and going local, and that has certainly been the case as you look at this roster composition. But I will also say we've got a few of our overseas friends in the lineup as well, as you know Goffey likes to do. He's a Welshman himself, and for a second straight year bringing a pair of players from Wales to come play for the Armada women's under-23 side. Here's Fogarty pushing forward, looking ahead, trying to find Tally Hines. Big collision there at the edge of the attacking third. Primetime takes it away, and pushing ahead is the visitors. This one in a dangerous spot, cleared out at the last second there by Hayden Petrick. Kylie Overstreet does well to keep it in bounds. But a little bit of a nervy moment there here to get this thing started. Both teams getting it going early on. Appreciate everybody joining us here on Action Sports Jacks 24/7, your home for home matches all summer long for the Armada men's and women's sides. This is Kylie Overstreet. Nice through ball looking for Gianna Ramirez. Ramirez can't quite get to it before it rolls across the end line. Will be a goal kick for FC Primetime.
I like to see those Argentinian flags in the corner there, Stuart. I just realized we get those on camera once we cut down in the corner.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, the little food truck out here. Like to take care of the fans, take care of Section 904 as they come on out to Patton Park. If they're hungry, they can go grab a little snack. Not for you, though, Lou. Sorry. You're working.
I might get my choripan later. We'll see.
I don't know what that is. What is that? Explain.
It's like a sausage with some bread. Choripan, chorizo, and con pan, bread.
Okay. You could just say a hot dog. I mean, if you...
It's an Argentinian hot dog. You put some chimichurri on it. Ah, fantastico.
Okay. 5th minute of play here at Patton Park. Still scoreless between your Jacksonville Armada and FC Primetime.
Sarah Bruner getting the start today after coming off the bench last game and putting the energy in for the girls in blue at that home matchup. Completely changed the game around when she came on the pitch.
That was Sarah giving chase there, wearing that number 3, the Mandarin High School grad. Pair of goals on the year for her as well. When you put up an 11 spot on a team, it really allows your roster to rack up some goals, certainly. But you look at the starting lineup here in this one, and 7 of these players have goals, with another 3 players on the bench having scored so far this year.
Almanza gets dispossessed, but wins the ball back.
Here is Almanza. Nice turn, takes a shot, easily handled by Ella Stevens. Goalkeeper for Primetime. Stevens just wrapping up her high school career, headed to UMass to go play her college soccer.
Now, this FC Primetime back line, you and I discussed it before the game, Stuart, is a really solid one. So I'm excited to see these girls in blue pressure them to see if they can make any mistakes.
Wow, composed play there by Kylie Overstreet, but gives it away. And here is one of those veteran players for FC Primetime, Katarina Dantas, a rising senior at USC Upstate, was a Big South first teamer this past year. Nice cross from Primetime and kept away and knocked away by Jacksonville, and will be a throw-in for Primetime. That was nearly a corner kick opportunity there. We've talked a little bit amongst ourselves about the keeper, and this is really, I believe, Morgan Weaver's first action for the girls in blue. Morgan Weaver certainly stands out, coming in at 6'3", a imposing figure, but still a rising player. Somebody still continuing to develop and work on their game. Just 18 years old, going into her sophomore season at Tennessee, the Tokoi Creek grad. We'll get a chance to see her quite a bit here this afternoon as you take a look at her distribution from that goalkeeper position. Distribution, key word, Lou.
Yeah, Morgan is definitely an exciting addition to this roster as we keep building it out towards the playoffs. Got to have a big enough roster. Now in this WPSL, you can have 20 players on your bench. It's just a little bit different than normal regulation rules.
Saw Tally Hines there with a little bit of an opportunity, just out of the reach of her teammates. We had a chance to talk to Tally 2 weeks ago. Nice ball ahead. Here's Jules Johnson giving chase for FC Primetime.
Hayden Petrick with a nice block.
And Jacksonville able to defuse that situation. But we've seen it so far from Primetime. Their opportunities have come on the fast break. Here's Fogarty in the middle of the field. Whereas Jacksonville may be more prone to build it in possession a little bit.
Yeah, Goffey likes his wing backs to come inside and kind of play like midfielders. We've got a missing wing back today in Bella Faraday, but we know the 15-year-old Landry Bauer can step up to the plate and do just as well.
Very solid player. That ball knocked away by Bryn Forchik, the second of those veteran center backs for this FC Primetime squad, a rising senior at Stetson and a player who played every minute of her junior year for the Hatters. So that tells you something as a defender. If you're on the field the entire game in a avenue where you can make substitutions, you know, in college soccer, you can make the rolling subs, much like you'll see here this afternoon in the WPSL. Well, it says something that your coach said, no, you're staying on the field the entire game, every game.
Yeah, teammate of Kylie Overstreet. I actually got to watch a little bit of Forchik this season over at JU and UNF. A really solid piece for the back line for these girls in yellow.
Here is Overstreet with the throw-in, just graduating from Jacksonville, or from Stetson, excuse me, who competes in the ASUN with Jacksonville. Allie Maurissier there, number 24 for FC Primetime, has it taken away by Fogarty, and I mean, just the moves. Just like she knows it's being broadcast. She wants it for the highlight reel, Lou.
Well, I've told Liz Ann before, her game style kind of reminds me of Sergio Busquets, the way she likes to slow down, control those big, long limbs in the middle, still keeps that high pressure and is able to go from box to box.
When you hit the 10th minute,
Here's Caitlin Seaborn, one of those players making their way to Jacksonville, and they're going to say this went off of, no, they're going to override from our head official. Say that is an FC Primetime throw-in, which is an accurate statement there.
It's a very hot day today, Stuart, and if you look at that FC Primetime bench, only 2 substitutions. Going to have to do a lot of rotation in there for the girls from Sunrise. This long ball gets played to Nancy Almanza. Almanza on the chase, now pressuring the goalkeeper in gray. Doesn't quite get there. Girls in blue keeping that high pressure on the defensive back line of FC Primetime. But once again, another over-the-top ball cuts through the Armada defense. Kylie Overstreet making chase.
This is Megan Morgan for FC Primetime, trying to get it on her left foot. Shot right into the arms of Morgan Weaver.
First little bit of action for Morgan Weaver. Wearing that obvious number 27 goalkeeper number.
You know, it's a pretty standard goalkeeper number. They like 27, 26 for your backup keeper here today. So, you know, just what you'd expect in some good summer soccer. I feel like it's kind of like you talk about like spring training with baseball.
Yeah.
You get some random numbers out there sometimes, but I like it.
Speaking of 27, that used to be my baseball number, Giancarlo Stanton, you know?
You mean Mike?
Mike. He was Mike back in the day in Jacksonville.
Mike when he played in Jacksonville, so he's Mike to me. When he was launching bombs here in Northeast Florida a long time ago.
Throw in on the far side of the field for FC Primetime. Captain picks it up in the midfield, plays it all the way back to Weaver. The Armada like to play with possession, and it looks like this matchup will come down to whether or not they concede an over-the-top ball on the counter. Talitha Hines, one of those internationals, this time from Northern Ireland, a Northern Ireland youth international.
A couple Welsh players. Obviously, I mentioned Seaborn, also Maddie Williams in the starting lineup. And then from Northern Ireland, you said it, Tally Hines. Tals. We did a post-match interview with her after the comeback draw against the West Florida Flames. I was like, what do we call you? Talitha? Tally? She's like, Tals. I think she was joking, but we can certainly go with it as well. We are 10 minutes into this one between the girls in blue and FC Primetime, and still scoreless here at Patton Park. Appreciate everybody joining us on Action Sports Jacks 24/7, your official home for all home matches for the Armada men's and women's squads this summer. So scoreless, 10 minutes in, and Lou, it looks like the opportunities for Jacksonville have come on the build-up, whereas the visitors have really come against the run of play.
Well, really, you've got so much speed up top for the Armada. I'm really liking what they're doing, pressuring the defensive line of FC Primetime. Between Ramirez, Almanza, and Bruner, you've got so much pace up top. If we can find a ball in behind those defenders, the girls might be through on goal.
Just as a quick reminder, we will not have the broadcast of the Armada men's match tonight at 7:30. So if you want to see the boys in blue in an away game, it's technically an away game, so we're not broadcasting it. You can come on out here to Patton Park. Admission is free. Come check out the boys in blue. That's later on tonight, 7:30. Come hang out with Section 904. There'll be tailgating between the two matches. It's going to be a good time. I can guarantee it. A guarantee from Stuart Weber goes a long way.
Stuart Weber with the reflexes up here, killing a wasp up in the booth.
Little wasp action there. That's Stuart 1, Wasp 0. We're going to keep that scoreboard going. As long as he doesn't come back from the dead and come after me. We're all right. He got a second step on. We're all right. We're good. Sorry, Peter. Don't come after me.
Girls in blue now begin to settle the ball down the defensive position under the field.
Here's a takeaway for primetime. The visitors pushing. Here's an opportunity for Megan Morgan just outside the 6. Takes a shot. Kneed away by Morgan Weaver. Another opportunity for Morgan off the head of her teammate. And that one off the mark will be a goal kick for Jacksonville. Not a bad idea there by Megan Morgan to look for her teammate there on the far post. Just a little off the mark for FC Primetime as Jules Johnston unable to head that down, the rising senior at Rice.
Yeah, Weaver able to get her knee down there and not get beat on her near post. I know goalkeeper coach Nick Rula would be happy to see that one.
Yeah, he's out here somewhere. Or maybe he's in the air conditioning somewhere. It'd be insanity to be out here for all the day's action with 2 full matches for the Jacksonville Armada. But, hey, Section 904 is going to do it. I certainly hope that they're hydrated with water, Lou. Water. They need water.
Lots and lots of water. Ball rolls out of bounds here on the far end of the field.
Will be a throw-in upcoming for the visitors. Mentioned FC Primetime out of Sunrise down in South Florida. Russ Morgan, the head coach of the Girls in Yellow. Can I do that? Can I just make up a team nickname for them?
You know what? I did that earlier. I was going to see if you were going to call me out on that. But,
Girls in Yellow?
Yeah, Girls in Yellow.
I mean, it works. I don't know. I just killed a wasp. They kind of look like a hornet out there with the yellow and black motif.
You know, they're from Sunrise. There's a team winning right now a lot from Sunrise, Florida. Florida Panthers.
Yeah. I mean, it's 1-1 in the Stanley Cup Finals, but a lot works.
They had to get all the way there, right?
Yeah, looking to win another Stanley Cup. Here's Hayden Petrick clearing out for Jacksonville. Going up to Tally Hines, and we talked about those keys to the match and feeding the forward. And look, FC Primetime's doing a good job of keeping it on Jacksonville's side of the field right now. They're putting on the pressure. They're not allowing the Armada to work as easily as they would like to. And really, they have some numbers pushed forward here. So Primetime, well, in an attacking position, might be a little susceptible if you can maybe get a long boot, maybe get a quick play down the field, a cross here or there. And let's see what they can do. Jacksonville looking long, middle of the field. Big collision.
With a big body in the middle.
No foul called. Here's Almanza pushing forward, looking for Ramirez. Still alive. Giving chase is Almanza. This is going to go off of FC Primetime. And for the first time in this afternoon's matchup, we got a corner kick for the girls in blue. And a good set-piece opportunity coming for the Jacksonville Armada.
Hey, that ball also went off of my photographer, Lexi Ray Photography over there. I hope she's okay after that ball hit her.
I think she looks fine. Does she have an Insta you can shout out? Or
Lexi Ray Photography. She does all of the Jacksonville Armada's photography.
All right, here we go. It's Caitlin Seaborn set to put this on her left foot for the corner.
Beautiful in swinging.
Oh, looking for the head of Fogarty. Still alive in the box, but up and over by Almanza.
Been really impressed with number 17. She's been the only forward really to break that back line. Gianna Ramirez trying to streak up that left-hand side. Obviously got that game-tying goal against the Flames just a couple weeks ago.
On a cross.
Yeah, she admitted that. So, yes, it was a cross, but it was a beautiful shot.
Great cross because it went into the back of the net, Lou. We love to see it. 15 minutes down, still scoreless between FC Primetime and your Jacksonville Armada. As a reminder, you can catch this match on replay on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. It'll be replaying tomorrow and then early next week. And you can also find it starting tomorrow, I don't know, afternoon, evening, whenever we end up putting it up there, on actionnewsjacks.com. We put the full matches up there for on-demand viewing, and you can certainly catch it there if you missed any of this afternoon's action. Nice connections from FC Primetime, but that's diffused by Overstreet. Here's Fogarty working hard in the middle, and there's a foul call as she goes through the back of Primetime's believe that's Megan Morgan.
Fogarty earning a yellow card last game as well. She likes to get physical there in the
In an
midfield.
11-0 win?
An 11-0 win.
All right. Hey, you do what you got to do. Did you see the play? Did you?
I actually did. I got Tim
deserved?
Fogarty's footage, and yeah, I was deserved.
Okay. Well, you got to earn them. If it's earned, I'm not mad about it. So, long free kick opportunity now for FC Primetime, just on Jacksonville's side of the field. This ball sent towards the edge of the 18, headed away by Hayden Petrick. Still alive, middle of the field. Falls to Ali Mercier. Sends one more to Dantas. Mercier again, looking for Megan Morgan, who's dropped back a little bit into the middle of the field. Jacksonville just trying to clear this thing out of there, get it out of the hornet's nest, so to speak.
Lots of chaos there in the midfield, some pinball going on. Looks like it'll be ushered out for a primetime throw.
So we're getting a little cloud cover here at Patton Park, and I guarantee you the folks in the stands are very happy about that. We had a nice little turnout here at Patton Park for this afternoon's matchup here to see the girls in blue. The undefeated girls in blue against a 4-0 FC Primetime team. We mentioned the temperatures. Well, let's get a little hydration break here in the 18th minute. Still scoreless between Jacksonville Armada and FC Primetime, and Louis Lorandi up here in the booth with myself, Stuart Weber, on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. Lou, what have we seen here these first 18 minutes? What has kind of stood out to you the most in this scoreless deadlock thus far?
Well, I was praising the girls very early on for keeping that high line and that pressure, but it started to drop as the game dragged on. FC Primetime really did well with getting those over-the-top balls in and behind the Armada defense. I think the girls in blue are just got to play a little bit more direct, get the balls to players' feet, and then figure it out from there. The finishing and the goals will come from there.
You can check out David Goff coaching up the ladies.
And I think you could even make a substitution right now. The rules in the WPSL are a little bit different than most leagues. You're kind of able to make these hockey, style substitutions, kind of unlimited on and off the field. And in a day like this, day that's so hot, you're going to need those fresh legs to come on the pitch. And one of those fresh legs that I'm really excited to see is number 9, Brooke Bunton, and an absolutely unbelievable player. I've gotten to see her play a couple times here at Patton Park at Jacksonville FC for the ECNL team. And just recently, she was at the U-17 U.S. Youth National Team camp not too far away in Georgia. So lots of big names that come on the bench, off the bench for the Armada. Stella Jones is someone who I always shout out on Fleet and Footy. Recent commit to the Naval Academy, was an absolute stalwart in the midfield last year for the girls in blue and has continued to play just as well.
As we mentioned before, here in the Women's Premier Soccer League, you have rolling substitutions, which means if a player comes out, that doesn't necessarily mean they are out. They can come back into the match at any point during the course of this match. You can make those unlimited substitutions throughout. So, something to keep an eye on. Jacksonville, 8 available substitutes. FC Primetime just brought 2 of them with them. So, we'll see if that ends up playing a factor. Maybe some more tired legs here by the time we reach the second half, and a little later on in the second half here in a hot afternoon in Northeast Florida. Here's the thing, though. All these teams, they're all from the Sunshine Conference. They all play in the state of Florida. They all practice in the state of Florida. Really, it's just us complaining because we're in a hot booth and, trying to deal with the conditions, if we're being honest.
They probably feel a little bit cooler playing.
Here's Megan Morgan pushing into the 18, puts a shot up and over.
Is that touched by Weaver? I don't think it was. I think it skimmed the top of that crossbar, and the girls in blue get away with one.
They're going to say goal kick for Jacksonville. But yeah, it's really just us complaining when it's hot. But we got water, we got Gatorade. One of us is smart and wearing a dry fit shirt. The other one is not, and pure cotton.
You could guess who.
I don't know what's wrong with you. Here's Overstreet on the near side, just a little out of her own reach. Needed that one more touch to get it to a streaking Ramirez on the near side, but Jacksonville gets it right back. Overstreet has just been so confident there on the near side in that wing back position, sending it long. Giving chase now is Almanza. One defender shielding. And they're going to say this was last touched by FC Primetime. It'll be a corner kick for Jacksonville.
From the number 17, Nancy Almanza. Yeah, it looks like FC Primetime think that they got a goal kick there, but Sarah Brunner says, give me that ball.
You mentioned Brooke Bunton making her way into the game, Jacqueline Bessman as well, 2 substitutes in for Jacksonville with a third still to come here shortly. But first, let's get a little corner kick action for the girls in blue. This ball sent into the 6, headed down, and just headed away by FC Primetime. Armada will let it roll out, and we'll do it all over again.
That's how Liz Ann Fogarty scored her first goal of last weekend's matchup, off a header from a corner, but from Bella Faraday. This time, the delivery from Sarah Brunner.
She'll do it again. This one low in swinger right into the 6-yard box. Still alive. Jacksonville does get possession. They'll drop it back to Brunner. She sends it back into the mixer. Got to watch out for that funny bounce, but Ella Stevens up to the task, and she will handle it for FC Primetime. But great opportunities there on those set pieces for the Jacksonville Armada.
Seaborn with a nice header.
And let's take another look at that most recent set piece here for the girls in blue, and really some of the best scoring opportunities thus far for Jacksonville in the 23rd minute as we remain scoreless here at Patton Park. Really, it's been a terrific showdown between these two teams thus far.
Yeah, Stella Jones about to come on the pitch for Kylie Overstreet. It's been a really interesting matchup. Both teams have had super close calls in on net. I don't think either team has looked that much better than the other. It's a really tightly contested matchup. We kind of expected that with 2 undefeated teams here in the Sunshine Conference.
Yeah, no doubt. You mentioned Stella Jones, 16 years old, Bishop Kenny Crusader, committed to play at the Naval Academy. So bright future ahead, not just on the field, but in all her other life endeavors as well. Love it when any of our local players commit to the Navy, or really any of the service academies, but we're a little impartial to the Navy on account of NAS Jackson, Naval Station Mayport, both being right here
the Armada.
in Northeast Florida. And we are the fleet. Yes, we are the Armada. You are correct. I was more so talking just about the Navy the Navy presence here in town. It was pretty cool. Jacksonville Jaguars, for the first time in their history, drafting a member of the Navy midshipmen in Rayon Lane. So, fun story there. Here's Jones sending ahead. Almanza giving chase. Once again, able to keep it in. Big collision there down by the end line, and they're going to say last touched by Nancy Almanza. Throw in for the visitors.
It's the first time I've gotten to watch Almanza really play, and she's been really impressive so far.
Another substitution, this one for FC Primetime. Hannah Paul will see her first action of the match, coming in for Isabella Fernandez. You hear Section 904 banging the drums, having a good time. As mentioned, they've been out here a few hours, and they're going to be out here till late into the night.
Just a few more
hours. But they certainly add.
Need to help me pack up.
What's that? Do you think they will?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or are you going to help them pack up? I think they'll be here longer than you will.
Probably be kicking them out.
Yeah, probably. Here's Fogarty.
Big tackle.
Strong physical action there in the middle of the field, and look, that is one of her strengths, right? She's 5'10", and commanding the midfield is a big part of her game. Long ball here, looking for Almanza, and that goes right to Stevens. Keeper able to handle it.
Stevens has been all right tonight, or excuse me, this afternoon. Been tested just a couple of times, but has stepped up to the occasion every time.
Hayden Petrick will play it back to her keeper, Morgan Weaver. And so we are 25 minutes down in this first half, still scoreless. This comes to Jacksonville. They're able to keep it in. Ball sent ahead by Bunton.
Since Bunton's been on the field, she's been kind of controlling that midfield now. Still the same front three for the girls in blue.
Nicely done there by the Armada's. Bunton still has.
Brunner takes it around her defender.
Cross into the middle of the field. Shot. Just couldn't get enough on it. Oh, an opportunity there for Jacqueline Bessman, but just couldn't get a solid contact on that beautiful feed and delivery to the top of the 6.
Sarah, the burner Brunner, absolutely scorches her defender there on the right wing. Puts a beautiful cross into the box, and Bessman just quite can't get her leg around that one. Referee will stop play here for an injured FC Primetime players. looked like a pretty nasty collision there in the attacking third for the girls in blue.
Trainers will come on and take a look here for FC Primetime. We mentioned they're thin on substitutes, only 2 of them available here for the girls in yellow.
Changes for the Armada happening within this first half as they go back to the benches to get some more encouragement from assistant coach Jed Bowman, former Armada U-23 men's player, now taking up a role as an assistant on this girls in blue squad. Some veteran leadership in there. Was a really key piece to the locker room in the Armada's last 3 seasons, and a really calm voice and a calm head. Really likes to, make sure their girls keep the physicality levels up.
This is Bryn Forchik, by the way, for the visitors, and one of those players we mentioned is a strong presence. Played every minute of her junior year at Stetson, did Forchik. So we'll have the medical staff take a look at her. You mentioned Jed Bowman. I believe he was a recent guest on Fleet and Footy.
He was, and you know what? He actually just got a shout-out from another former Armada player, Mason Tunbridge, now playing in the USL. But, yeah, he came on the show, Fleet and Footy, to talk about that dramatic 4-4 draw with West Florida Flames. He was just gushing over how good the girls played and how well they received his criticism there at halftime. Goffey really laid into them and really said, you guys aren't playing the way that we have practiced, the way that I have instilled this inside of you guys. So the girls in blue definitely took that to heart, and that second half was completely different than that first half.
Good to see Forchik at least walking off the field. We'll see if FC Primetime makes a substitution. I know their 2 bench players are really 2 more attacking style players, so we'll see how that formation kind of shifts up for the visitors from Sunrise. You mentioned Fleet and Footy. We want to let everyone know, join us on Fleet and Footy every Thursday at 2 o'clock on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. A full hour of soccer talk as we talk all things Jacksonville Armada and the world of footy in general. And you're listening to the 2 hosts of that show.
I've been flying solo recently, but Stu's going to join me back in the studio.
I'm back.
Next Thursday. And you can also watch the latest edition of Fleet and Footy before every Armada men's or women's home match that's broadcasted right here on ActionSportsJacks.com.
Yeah, we have a pre-match show of sorts, right? We get you the chance to watch that beforehand, an hour before each home kickoff. So certainly check it out. And if you can't join us live, Thursdays at 2, it's on the Action Sports Jacks YouTube page as well.
It's like there's some disagreement between the Armada coaching staff and the refereeing crew here.
All right, we'll see how that all resolves itself.
This team, like we said, a lot younger than last season, but really I feel like a lot more heart, a lot more energy. I've been seeing it out of these girls in practice every day. They're excited for this new look team.
Yeah, and it's really a gauntlet of matches. You only get to play 8 matches over the course of this summer schedule in the WPSL's Sunshine Conference, so you have to make each and every opportunity pay off. By the way, Primetime is halfway through their schedule, still maximum points. 4 wins from 4 matches thus far for FC Primetime. A lot of folks maybe expect it to be West Florida and Jacksonville contending for the championship and maybe having to do it on goal differential based on a draw a couple weeks ago here in Northeast Florida. But FC Primetime has certainly been up to the task thus far this afternoon and showing that, yeah, we're real. We're here. We're undefeated for a reason. We've performed well in this WPSL for a reason.
Yeah, that FC Primetime versus West Florida Flames game later on this season is probably going to decide quite a bit for a lot of the squads within the Sunshine Conference. Like you mentioned, you only get 2 to 3 months with your teams. The girls in blue go on a brutal away trip, playing 2 games in 3 days. As
There's
Bruner
a push ahead for Bruner.
Still putting pressure on her defender.
Yeah, gets the ball back. That was well done by Brooke Bunton, who gets the ball back now again to Bruner. See if they find a switch. They've got Almanza as well as Ramirez waiting inside the 18. Jacksonville now in the attacking third. Here comes the switch. Come on, one more. Liz Ann Fogarty, middle of the field. Knocked away. FC Primetime, a chance to counter. slow developing counter as they push this thing up. They don't have the numbers, so maybe try and build it on the way in. Here's Jules Johnston, intercepted by Jacksonville. And now the Armada can kind of take a breath and reset. It's Landry Bauer out there on the outside for the girls in blue. This is Cheyenne Lamb for the visitors, making her run to the near side. And knocked off the ball well by Stella Jones. This will be a goal kick, so nicely defended by Stella Jones.
Some more substitutes coming on to the pitch for the girls in blue. Another attacking, or the first attacking substitution of the afternoon.
Izzy Whitaker, a player who has scored already for the Armada thus far this season. She'll come on for Gianna Ramirez.
Pontevedra Shark.
Lou, without bias, so take your own high school out of it. Give me your favorite high school mascot here in Northeast Florida.
Ooh, specifically in North. Can I go all of Florida for you?
No.
Oh, Northeast Florida.
Locally.
Beachside Barracudas.
Beachside. Do you like the alliteration? Is that what it is?
I do. Barracuda, not a very popular mascot name.
Yeah, it's unique. I do like that.
So definitely a little bit different. I know we always like to shout out Fletcher and their pseudo mascot named the Beach Rats.
Beach Rats, certainly. Here's Jules Johnston for FC Primetime. Sends ahead to Beltran, sending across into the outside side netting, so it'll be a goal kick for Jacksonville.
Looks like the 15-year-old Landry Bauer will get her first minutes of rest in this matchup. And Mia Duncan will be replacing her there in the back line from USC Aiken.
But first, hydration break. Get some hydration in you, Lou.
We've been hydrating up here. It's been really hot. We got a double hydration break.
Yeah, they did that the last afternoon match in the WPSL. Technically, we've had 3. Of course, you had that little injury timeout for Forchick for the visitors. Plenty of hydrating being done for Jacksonville. We mentioned all the home matches for the girls in blue will be right here on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. They've got a tough stretch coming up on the road. Next week, they got to go on the road twice in 3 days. We talked about how tough that was for the Fusion. Well, on Thursday, they head to Florida Premier FC, and then on Saturday, Fusion FC. So 2 matches in 3 days.
Well, if you wanted me to circle one of those 2 matches to watch out for, it's got to be that first one. Florida Premier has had their women's academy team set up for years and years now. They host plenty of tournaments over there in Tampa, Florida with their squads. It's going to be really, really interesting to see those 2 teams match up. It's going to be another test for the Armada as they make their way into this grueling WPSL summer schedule.
Yeah, these 2 matches are huge right here in the middle portion of the season. Obviously, Primetime, undefeated. Premier, undefeated. So that's 2 sides that you really got to be ready for to go out there and see what you can do against them.
Yeah, and then they end the season off against Florida Gulf Coast Dutch Lions and a team that they already beat in the first game of the season, Seminole Ice. And
then, who knows? We'll see.
Playoffs.
It's a weird system. The WPSL does it where just one team from each conference moves on to
a little bit more Euro style, though.
To a central location tournament, but if you're only playing 8 matches, that's tough.
It is.
It's tough to be able to determine who. You have one bad match. I mean, it could throw off your entire season.
Yeah, that's why that West Florida Flames draw early on in the season.
So huge.
Massive.
Yeah, every lost point is massive, as you say.
Duncan with her first touch on the ball. Goes astray, unfortunately.
Is there any other sport that uses massive quite as much as...
I think that's the English influence there, the massive.
Maybe monster trucks would be the only other thing. Or like world strongman competitions. Nice cutback here for the visitors by Megan Morgan. Ball into the box, and hey, that's a good time to have a 6'3" keeper.
Yes, sir, it is. Weavers hadn't been, tested too much today.
She made that one nice knee save.
Yeah, gets her arms up high in the sky and just towers over the competition.
Jones can't quite get enough on that cross, and the flag is up. It'll be an offside against FC Primetime as soon as our head official sees it, and there we are. It takes a second sometimes, Lou.
Yeah, those over-the-top balls, though, have been killing the girls in the back line. I'm really hoping that's not the way FC Primetime scores. The girls have to adjust in that back line and know they got to drop deeper once that ball hits the FC Primetime midfield.
Appreciate everybody joining us here on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. Less than 10 minutes remain in this first half of action. Of course, we'll have your halftime show coming up during the break. Stuart Weber here along with Louis Lorandi. We'll talk a little bit about the men's NPSL side, who is at home tonight at 7:30. Not streamed, so you got to be here to see it. You got to come on out to Patton Park. 7:30 kick. Club de Lyon FC, not from France, but actually Orlando, is playing your Jacksonville Armada. So it was a really, really good match a few weeks ago, 3-2. And, I mean, Jacksonville went down early, 1-0, came back, tied it, took the lead, gave it back, and then took the lead for a final time as some big contact in the middle of the field. Foul committed by number 25. That's Jules Johnston for FC Primetime on Fogarty.
Fogarty's been going shoulder to shoulder with those primetime midfielders, not backing down. I expect her to see a lot of minutes today. She really does command that midfield. It's an absolutely powerful voice in the locker room.
Call this an ice bath game because she's going to need it after all the hits and the strong physical play. Stella Jones giving chase down by the corner. Tried to earn the cheeky corner.
That was nice.
Ball still alive. Kept in by the Armada. Nicely done. Oh, some fancy footwork there by Peyton Thomas.
Peyton Thomas just last week committing to the University of North Florida. She is frustrated with that call, as well as I am.
Yeah, officials flip a coin there and come up with the throw-in for FC Primetime.
Interesting call from the girls in red.
Looking back and forth. Somebody be authoritative. Make the call. All the way down in the corner. Still very dangerous spot. Thomas heads it down.
Oh, dangerous area for the Armada.
This is great. Bunsen outside the 18.
She's got a boot on her.
Well done. Still alive, but knocked away. Bit of a deflection off an FC Primetime player. It'll fall all the way back to the back line and Hayden Petrick. You mentioned it. Jacksonville likes having those numbers up there. A little back heel.
Cheeky.
Still alive for Jacksonville.
Bruner.
Sends it one more.
Still Bruner.
This will drop to Stella Jones from distance into the 18. Knocked down, still alive. Bruner with an opportunity. This one falls.
Pontieri!
And knocked down by Ella Stevens. Sophia Pontieri into the match for Jacksonville. And what an opportunity there inside the 18 to get a shot and get a goal early on in the first half of this one.
Sophia Pontieri has improved tremendously year on year. She's a commit to the University of North Florida to play with her sister, Isabella Pontieri, who just had a fantastic season for the Ospreys.
This will be a throw-in for Jacksonville on the near side, but first we'll make a substitution for the visitors. Isabella Fernandez coming back on for FC Primetime in place of Cheyenne Lamb. Yeah, you mentioned the Pontieri sisters from Clay County, and both getting a chance to play with each other on the UNF Ospreys. That's pretty cool. I like those stories when you get that opportunity. You get to play with a sibling. I mean, we're seeing it on the men's side with the Zettel brothers, Sebastian and Moritz, getting to play together for the first time. They're 6 years apart, so they haven't really been in that same age group very often. But this year, they're both playing for the boys in blue, which is pretty cool.
Hey, while we're shouting out Sebastian Zettel, you can go vote for him for Player of the Month on NPSL.com if you get the opportunity after you watch this match.
That ball shielded by Marissier till the last second, but she's the last one to touch it. It'll be another corner kick opportunity for the Jacksonville Armada.
I know we have an interesting angle up here, but I feel like the girls are getting some interesting calls in the field on those 50-50 balls.
Yeah. Once again, Sarah Bruner set to take this corner kick on the set piece for the Jacksonville Armada.
Plenty of tall heads in the box.
And here comes Caitlin Seaborn to join that mix. Towards the spot, headed down by Fogarty, and across the end line will be a goal kick for the visitors.
Only two girls stayed back on that corner kick. Goffey wanting to press up, get that first goal in before the first half. A goal before the halftime whistle would be massive for either club.
You're doing that on purpose now. I know you are. I know how you work.
I learned from the best, you know.
Yeah. to antagonize me. That's okay. It's just what we do on Fleet and Footy every Thursday at 2 o'clock. Talking all things soccer. And yes, I am excited to be back on the show this upcoming matchup. So this Thursday, excited to be back in action and get an opportunity to rejoin you on the show on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network as we do each and every week. So can't wait for that one. Late in the first half here, 42nd minute, remains scoreless between the Armada and FC Primetime. Stella Jones, physical tackle of Megan Morgan, and they're going to call that a foul on Jones.
I mean, I don't know in what league that's a foul on Stella Jones. Stella Jones stood her position, won that ball fair and square. You're right. I think the referee might be flipping a coin in her head on some of these calls.
So it'll be a set-piece opportunity and really perhaps one of the best chances in this first half for FC Primetime. 43rd minute. Isabella Fernandez set to take the free kick. Two-woman wall for the girls in blue. Fernandez to her left foot. That one mishit a bit, it looked. Still falls to Megan Morgan. And Jones looking to clear. Still going. Here's an opportunity. Hannah Paul with the cross. Cleared out by Jacksonville, but only as far as the edge of the attacking third. McCleary keeps it in there to Fernandez. Now back to McCleary. And she'll drop it back. However, Sarah Bruner says, okie dokie, thank you very much. She'll take it away. Let's see if Jacksonville can start the break. Bunton now sends a long cross all the way ahead. This is Izzy Whitaker. Oh, nobody there.
Fontieri didn't see that run. FC Primetime picked the ball back up with just 2 minutes to go in regulation.
Ball sent long. Looking for Johnston inside the 18. Knocked away, still alive. Shot off the post and into the hands of Morgan Weaver. What a missed opportunity for FC Primetime and a bit of fortune there as the ball bounced right to the foot of FC Primetime.
Jules Johnston with a beautiful run and a beautiful over-the-top ball, settling that with her shoulder into the box. Almost gets a shot off. Instead, her teammate does and hits the post.
I believe that was Alicia Colston who had that great opportunity for Primetime late in this first half as a foul's called against Jacksonville in the midfield.
Just 1 minute until we get confirmation of extra time.
Extra Primetime?
Surprised I didn't think of that one before you.
It's all right. A couple subs coming in for the Jacksonville Armada. As you see Jones and Fogarty coming off for the girls in blue.
Overstreet taking back her starting left back position spot.
And Jacqueline Bessman into the midfield. Free kick ahead by FC Primetime. Remember, stay with us at halftime. We'll show you some first half highlights. I know we're scoreless, but we'll have some for you. As that ball just out of the reach for Jacksonville, will be a throw in.
No goals, but definitely had some action. Had some saves. A shot off the post.
We're going to have 5 minutes of extra time here in this first half. So plenty of opportunities for both sides here. This first half far from over as we hit that 45-minute mark.
It'll be interesting to see if FC Primetime can keep this energy up in the second half. It is a brutal one here at Patton Park weather-wise, and only 2 substitutes on that bench.
Here's Megan Morgan on the left foot. Into the 18, but right to Morgan Weaver. If you're Jacksonville, you'll take that every day.
Seaborn looking to start an attack here all the way from the defense.
Overstreet has been very confident in possession. Finds Bessman, and now the switch. Well done by Jacksonville. Plenty of room on that far side of the field, and now they push it forward.
This is how you're going to tire out the opposition. You got to keep switching that ball, making sure everyone's chasing you.
Here's Pontieri chasing it down at the top of the 18. Cleared out by Primetime. Brunner putting on a little pressure. And that'll bounce off of Colston for a Jacksonville throw-in.
Duncan, big throw.
Yeah, big
Finds
throw
a
there.
teammate.
This is Peyton Thomas. Just a little too close to the keeper there. All her runners had yet to make those moves into the box. Pontieri, as well as Whitaker. At this point in the half, we've made plenty of substitutions. That starting 11 has changed up quite a bit. Using that depth, taking advantage of it, and hoping it pays off as we get a little further into this matchup. This ball falls to Hannah Paul, looking ahead for Colston. Well done by Overstreet there.
Had to get a leg in there. That ball was going straight through on goal.
Button telling her teammates, make those runs. Let's push it forward. She'll go ahead to Peyton Thomas. Thomas working back towards the middle of the field. Ahead. Knocked on by Whitaker. Just unable to get by that defense and find Pontieri.
Pontieri's been making some very good attacking runs in and behind her defenders.
Here's Duncan with the cross into the 18. Headed down by FC Primetime, but still a possibility for Jacksonville. Taken away. Nicely done by Whitaker, but the flag is up, and offside is called on Peyton Thomas. Just behind that last defender. Bit of a, as you said, pinball moment. Kind of catch yourself offside there without thinking. Halfway through extra time here in this first half. As mentioned, playing 5 minutes here at Patton Park in this WPSL South Showdown.
I can see those FC Prime defenders getting tired. They want that halftime whistle. The legs are getting heavy out there.
Both of these teams, by the way, top 25 in the nation in the early WPSL rankings. Jacksonville up to number 9 in the most recent rankings.
Get their top 10 position back.
There's a giveaway. Here's Morgan, defended by Overstreet. And they'll play it long. Onside.
Just under
is
2
Johnston
minutes.
Giving chase. Gotta knock it away. Does Petrick all the way back to Weaver. Couple minutes before we hit that halftime whistle. An attempted little back heel there from Izzy Whitaker. Morgan's been really strong for this FC Primetime squad. Takes a shot, and down to her left is Morgan Weaver. A little Morgan and Morgan for you there.
It's a lot of body to get down onto the floor to make that save, but she gets there. Been tested just a few times.
Here's a player who's impressed me this far. It's Brooke Bunton. Has been very reliable in that midfield and able to push the attack. Just look at this run by Bunton into the 18, back to her right foot, looking for teammates, still alive inside the box. Shot, and a goal! Into the back of the net, Sophia Pontieri. It took until the 45th plus 5 minute, 5th minute with Sophia Pontieri in extra time. The final minute of extra time is what I was eloquently trying to say. Able to find the back of the net, and just before the stroke of halftime, the Jacksonville Armada go ahead 1-0.
An absolutely great shot by the number 13. That's her 4th goal of the season. The girls in blue flying high before hitting the locker room, something that they needed in this matchup.
Yeah, that's big for momentum, and it gives Goffey some great talking points and a great little boost of confidence for the girls in blue here as they get set to head to the locker room. 1-0 Jacksonville late in this first half. And that was a terrific build-up, especially by Brooke Bunton. I mean, we mentioned just her pushing that attack. And before we get too far ahead of ourselves, nicely done by Jacksonville's defense as Jules Johnston put herself in a dangerous position once again.
I was going to say a fantastic finish by Pontieri, but that whole play was made by the
chip
number
ahead,
9.
Need a clearance, need a good moment, and they finally do. Does Jacksonville.
Mia Duncan
looking for that halftime whistle. And there it is. The first half comes to a close here at Patton Park. Jacksonville Armada go ahead 1-0 on FC Primetime. You're watching it right here on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. Appreciate you joining us here on the network this afternoon for some WPSL action. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll have your halftime stats as well as first half highlights and much more. We'll talk a little bit about the MPSL boys in blue who are in action later on tonight. That's coming up next right here on Action Sports Jacks 24/7.
can tell you, Campion cares. The team at Campion, they showed me all the care for me. They call me in the morning. Hey, Mr. Valius, are you okay? What do you want? What do you need? Don't hesitate to call. Anytime, we're here for you. It's like people who know you, they treat you like family. So that's made me confident. So then I say, okay, you know what? I leave everything on them, and they take care.
Ancla Dorada. The official bear of your Jacksonville Armada.
Get local sports on demand with Action Sports Jacks 24/7. All sports, all local, all the time. From the locker room to the field, the Jacks, high school football, the Jacksonville Armada, and don't forget the Brett and Austin Show. They're all in on Trevor. Of course. Download the Action News Jacks Now app, available wherever you stream or at actionnewsjacks.com. TV, phone, laptop, desktop. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. Jacksonville sports all the time.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop. Now to Burton. Burton takes it right from distance. Oh, what a goal!
Guess who's back?
Get your tickets at JacksonvilleArmada.com.
Action Sports Jacks 24/7 presents Jacksonville Armada Soccer, sponsored by Alive Credit Union.
And welcome back to Patton Park, the site of this afternoon's WPSL matchup, Section 904. They're going to show up loud and proud here to support the girls in blue. Your Jacksonville Armada leading 1-0 at the half on a late first half goal from Sophia Pontieri. I'm Stuart Weber along with Louis Lorandi up here in the broadcast booth, bringing you all the action on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. Shout out to Dave Wax for getting some great shots here down in the stands as everyone is gone to go get their snacks, a little food truck visit, or find shade, or maybe some beverages. It is a hot one here in Northeast Florida. Let's go ahead and take a look at some first half stats from this matchup between the Jacksonville Armada and the visiting football club Primetime from down in South Florida. And as far as shots on goal goes, Primetime has certainly had more opportunities. More shots had to be saved by Morgan Weaver. But look, it's that first statistic, Lou, that really counts. Goals. As Jacksonville comes through late and gets the late goal in extra time from Sophia Pontieri. Of course, 3 corners for Jacksonville to none for Primetime. An offside call against the Armada there in that first half. No disciplinary action as of yet between the two sides. Let's go ahead and take a look around the WPSL's Sunshine Conference and check out some of the scores from this afternoon. Already in the books, Florida Premier with a 6-0 victory over AGC football, to be expected. That was the outcome, one would expect to see in that matchup. Of course, AGC football, Jacksonville played them a week ago with an 11-0 victory. Premier is the next opponent for your girls in blue as they will head on the road to take on Florida Premier. Jacksonville's home schedule the rest of the way looks like this. If you want to come out and check out the girls in blue in action right here in Jacksonville, some good matchups on the docket. Of course, today against Primetime, the Florida Gulf Coast Dutch Lions FC. That one's coming up on June 20th. And then the Armada take on the Ice.
Seminole Ice, a team that was a thorn in the side of the girls in blue last year, losing them in the last game of the season. Please come out to that last June 27th game. Could mean everything for playoffs.
Yeah, a couple of Friday matchups there for the girls in blue. So if the weekend stuff doesn't work for you, feel free to check out some Friday matchups for the Armada against the Dutch Lions. Of course, we talk all things Fleet and Footy. We do it on the show that is aptly named. It's Fleet and Footy, Lou. That's what we call it. Every Thursday at 2 o'clock, we talk all things Jacksonville Armada and the entire world of soccer, including your weird soccer story of the week. So it's a whole lot of fun. We do it each and every week. We welcome you in to the broadcast booth. Hey, we're up here in the booth, checking out all the action here at Patton Park. Again, shout out to Dave Wax for a little behind-the-scenes look at us up here in the booth, calling all the action. And Lou, this has been a terrific first half. Can't wait to see what happens in the second half. We're going to get to that in just a little bit. But next, we're talking NPSL. The boys in blue are in action. We'll discuss their latest matchup here at home and what's next for the boys in blue at an away matchup a little bit later on tonight. That's coming up next right here on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. You're watching Jacksonville Armada Women's Under-23 Soccer.
I'm attorney Chris Campione, and I believe in hard work, community, and looking out for one another. I earned my law degree right here in Jacksonville, and it quickly became home for my family and me. My firm is dedicated to getting justice for families that have been injured through no fault of their own, or worst of all, lost a loved one. We've recovered over $100 million for accident victims because for us, every client is family. We're real people helping real people. If you've been injured or lost a loved one, please call us at Campione Law.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
It's the Kingfish Tournament for the entire family. The 2025 Daly's Old School Kingfish Shootout presented by Yellowfin. What makes the Old School better than the rest? Cash payout to the top 25 places. Lady and junior angler divisions. No bait buying and limited boundaries. It's June 14th and right now get early entry for $250 until May 31st. OldSchoolKingfish.com for all the details. Fishing fun for the entire family and a $125,000 Yellowfin bay boat on the line. OldSchoolKingfish.com.
Ancla Dorada. the official bear of your Jacksonville Armada.
Action Sports Jacks 24/7 presents Jacksonville Armada Soccer, sponsored by a live credit union.
And welcome back to Patton Park, your home for Women's Premier Soccer League action here on a beautiful June afternoon in Northeast Florida. Stuart Weber here in the booth along with Louis Lorandi, your Jacksonville Armada, taking a late first half goal to go ahead 1-0 against Football Club Primetime, as Sophia Pontieri able to slot it home. You let out quite the yell there, Lou. You really enjoyed that.
Well, you know, that Brooke Bunton run was absolutely unbelievable. It got me standing off of my feet here. Not like we're not standing already.
We're standing anyways. What are you talking about?
But that ball trickles through into the box, finds Pontieri, and what a strike from the number 13, looking like her older sister out there.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. I mean, Bunton, the Clay High School grad, another one of these young players for the Jacksonville Armada who actually reclassified in order to enroll at Southern Methodist this upcoming fall. So she's basically skipping her senior year of high school to go start her college soccer career in Dallas this upcoming fall. Pretty impressive player, has been in camps for the U.S. youth national teams over the past few years. So certainly a big part of this Jacksonville Armada squad. Excited to see her in action here this afternoon here at Patton Park, as you see some folks enjoying some of the festivities here at Patton. Go score some goals. You needed a runner there. We need a runner to score on that on the cross. Beautiful little cross. All right, let's talk a little bit about the boys in blue. We mentioned the Jacksonville Armada men's under 23 side will be playing here at Patton Park later on tonight, 7:30 p.m. It won't be streamed, but if you want to see it, it is free. So come on out to Patton Park. Check out the boys in blue, fresh off a big win over the Miami Dutch Lions. And this is a club that has looked very good here in the early portion of the NPSL season, with a big test coming up this evening, Lou.
Yeah, we like to talk about how the women's squad went a little younger this year, but really so did the men. A lot of 19-year-olds, a lot of those U18 Pro Academy guys making that step up into the roster, but you still got those veterans who have been around the boys in blue for multiple years now. Guys like Giancarlo Vaccaro, who scored a couple fantastic goals in this matchup, as well as a player on the back line, a captain, Miles Shanley, also local, Flagler College, has been in and around the system for years now.
You just saw that goal from Chavi Sato. He has been terrific this year. Lewis Matton coming into his own, scored a brace, including that header in the 60th minute last week. You talk about Matton and Marquez, two players up top that are very interchangeable, high target forwards that can really put the ball in the back of the net. And then you got Vaccaro and Chato on the outside. It is really a formidable lineup that opposing coaches, I'm sure, get sleepless nights ahead of trying to figure out what to do with that team. Let's take a look at the upcoming home schedule for the boys in blue. And your next technically home match will be June 14th against the New Orleans Jesters. That one is coming up next Saturday night against the Jesters. Reminder, they are at Patton Park tonight in an away game. So it's, it's your home away from home in a way. I don't know. It's an away game, but in Jacksonville. So come on out, 7:30 tonight, Club de Leon. You see there, the Armada beat them 3-2 earlier this year, so going to be a really, really strong test. Let's take a look at the NPSL Gulf Coast Sunshine Conference standings, and it is a mouthful to say it each and every day, but it is your Jacksonville Armada who are atop the table. You see them right there at 4-0, 4 wins in 4 matches. And look, there are no other unbeaten, untied teams in this NPSL so far this season, as Naples earned a draw in their most recent matchup against FC Florida. So that kind of leaves a little bit of an opening for the Jacksonville Armada, where they now have a little bit of breathing room. Not a lot, but they are the only unbeaten, untied team in the Gulf Coast Sunshine Conference. So excited to bring you these matchups on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. We do it each and every home match for the men's and women's squad, but we want to remind you, we're streaming 24/7. I mean, that's kind of the name, right? Great programs throughout the course of the week. Of course, the Brett and Austin Show every weekday 10 to 1. Fleet and Footy Thursdays at 2. And so much more. Heck, we got a wrestling show Wednesdays at 7. The Scrap House. Check that out with Austin Lane and Casey Kurtz.
I love me some
Great shows on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. We hope you tune in all the time. Just leave a TV on it, and you'll be happy that you did. All right, that's going to do it for this halftime report. Coming up, second half of action. Jacksonville's taking that 1-0 lead on the Pontieri goal in extra time. We'll see if they can build on it in the second 45 minutes. That's coming up next, right here on Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network. Lou, don't run out of the butt. Lou's running to go get some food. There he goes at the El Gaucho Grill. We'll be right back.
We ARMADA rolling off our tongues. Never will we roam, for we know our place is out. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing.
I'm attorney Chris Campione, and I believe in hard work, community, and looking out for one another. I earned my law degree right here in Jacksonville, and it quickly became home for my family and me. My firm is dedicated to getting justice for families that have been injured through no fault of their own, or worst of all, lost a loved one. We've recovered over $100 million for accident victims because for us, every client is family. We're real people helping real people. If you've been injured or lost a loved one, please call us at Campione Law.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jax 24/7 team to bring you ARMADA men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers. And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
It's the Kingfish Tournament for the entire family. The 2025 Daly's Old School Kingfish Shootout presented by Yellowfin. What makes the Old School better than the rest? Cash payout to the top 25 places, lady and junior angler divisions, no bait buying, and limited boundaries. It's June 14th, and right now get early entry for $250 until May 31st. OldSchoolKingfish.com for all the details. Fishing fun for the entire family and a $125,000 Yellowfin bay boat on the line. OldSchoolKingfish.com.
Ancla Dorada. The official bear of your Jacksonville Armada.
Action Sports Jax 24/7 presents Jacksonville Armada Soccer, sponsored by Alive Credit Union.
Hey, welcome back to Patton Park on a beautiful June afternoon here on Action Sports Jax 24/7. Your home for the Jacksonville Armada men's and women's sides all summer long. If you're just joining us, where were you? The match started at 3. You were supposed to be here at 3. That's how this works. I'm kidding. It's 1-0 Jacksonville Armada. Sophia Pontieri with the opening tally. I was hoping it'd be Tally Hines for the opening tally. That's okay. Maybe she'll have the final tally.
Well, you know,
can we work that? Can we make that happen?
Tally has been scoring recently. The goals have been coming in abundance for the girls in blue. I think we're talking about now 15 unanswered goals after conceding to the West Florida Flames just 2 weeks ago.
Is that good? That seems good.
It's pretty good, I think. 15-0 on the goal tally-wise. You got a new keeper in for the girls in blue. Morgan Weaver has kept that clean sheet so far in the first half. I'm sure Goffey has made some tactical substitutions coming out of the locker room to get more fresh legs onto that pitch and definitely more goals.
I think first half, one of my most impressive performances, I mean, you always go with Lizanne Fogarty. She is such a key part of that midfield, but really Brooke Bunton is the one who made it happen on that final goal, that final run to make the goal happen and put Jacksonville on top. Very impressed by her. Haven't had a chance to see her yet this season, so really cool to see the youngster doing some good things out there on the right side and pushing that action ahead. It was really, really good stuff as we're getting set to start off this second half of action at Patton Park. A lot of these players very familiar with playing here at Patton Park. Of course, Jacksonville FC's home field. They got this new beautiful turf field. It's what, 2 years old, 2 or 3 years old, something like that?
2 or 3 years old. Definitely gets a lot of use, but man, it's one of the more plush fields we see out here in North Florida.
Easy on the eyes too. We have a nice, clear look at the pitch.
No football lines.
Here's a push ahead by FC Primetime, intercepted by Jacksonville, and now sent ahead by Hayden Petrick. Sarah Brunner on the near side. Of course, the girls in blue. Jacksonville Armada will be going left to right on your screen, whereas the visitors from FC Primetime in the yellow tops and black shorts going right to left. See how quickly Jacksonville can try and build on that late tally. Not from Tally.
Tally, one of those girls we mentioned, is one of those overseas players. Going to play her college ball next year in the States at West Alabama.
Yeah, pretty cool that you get a little taste of the United States before getting into the NCAA soccer mix. Nice throw-in opportunity for Jacksonville. And it'll be a player who's still a few years away from that NCAA level. That's Landry Bauer, 15 years old, class of 2028 at Nice High School.
If there's any college coaches watching this broadcast right now, keep an eye on number 2. She's a heck of a player and one that's definitely going to develop throughout her years here at Jacksonville FC.
A well-earned corner. Izzy Whitaker does well to knock it off the defender's leg. And Jacksonville will get a set-piece opportunity here early in the second half. Ahead 1-0. Chance to make it more. It'll be Caitlin Seaborn, 19-year-old from Wales, putting it on her left foot here on the corner. Here is Seaborn, wearing that number 5. Nice little in-swinger towards the 6. Oh, what a save by Ella Stevens. I will say Stevens has had to come up big and has done so a few times here in this match against the Jacksonville Armada, as that one was a very dangerous opportunity for the Fleet.
Yeah, Izzy Whitaker, number 18, with the header there. Had to position herself in a really awkward way, but got that bounce off towards the goal, and a fantastic save, like you said, by Stevens.
Nice interception from Primetime. See if the visitors can put some passes together, and they nearly did. It was Jules Johnston trying to make that run. Here's Cheyenne Lamb to the near side, finds Megan Morgan. Morgan 1v1 with her fellow number 2 in Landry Bauer. Morgan taking it towards the end line, and she earns a corner kick. So, similarly, you get a corner kick earned by FC Primetime, much like we did a moment ago from Izzy Whitaker. That was Megan Morgan, the forward for FC Primetime, who's headed into her final season of college soccer at Florida Gulf Coast. She's played at the University of Miami, was on that national championship squad for Florida State a few years back. So she has seen some high-level soccer. Going to play in the A-Sun at Gulf Coast for her final season. This is her taking the corner on her left foot. Nice dart right towards the keeper, punched away by Weaver to the edge of the 18. Looking for a shot is Primetime. Booted up, still alive, and the flag is up. Offside is the call against the visitors. So some nervy moments. Primetime responding well coming out of the break after that late goal in the first half.
Yeah, this game has gone back and forth in terms of where the ball has been on the pitch in the attacking half for the Armada and the defensive half for the Armada. Weaver's had to make a couple saves and punches to make sure that ball doesn't touch the back of her net, so she keeps that clean sheet.
Here's FC Primetime on the far side of the field. Looking across, still looking across. How about the defending by Kylie Overstreet, not allowing that cross to take place? It'll roll across the end line, and it'll be a goal kick. So Overstreet up to the task and does her job there on the far side.
The Stetson Hatter.
You know any other mascots named after hats?
No, it's one of the better names in college sports. I do love that negative space hat logo with the S.
Like a Boleros? Isn't somebody the Boleros maybe?
Oh.
I think that's a hat, isn't it? I don't know. The Bowlers. Maybe, like Bowling Green would have the opportunity if they wanted to be the Bowlers. But their university isn't named after a man who came up with a hat, so I guess that's probably not going to happen.
Recent fun fact I found out about Stetson is that they have the opportunity, if you're a graduate, to wear the Stetson hat instead of a graduation cap.
If you don't, that is a absolute missed opportunity.
I would agree with you, Stuart. I would agree with you.
I don't see a scenario where you don't do that. I don't know. It takes a certain bit of moxie to wear the cowboy hat.
For sure.
I don't know. I'd much rather have that than a graduation cap. I don't know. They didn't let us wear like gator heads at the University of Florida. That would have been fun. Thinking out loud. Appreciate everybody joining us here on Hat Talk on the Action Sports. I'm kidding. On the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Jacksonville Armada women's under 23 soccer. Nice little battle going on that far side between Hannah Paul and Kylie Overstreet. This will be a throw-in for primetime. They'll play it quickly and play it back.
The pace of this game has dramatically slowed down.
It has, as they're kind of getting their legs going, and foul called on the visitors.
It's a chance for the girls in blue to
get out of their own end. Go push the action forward.
Overstreet opts to give it to Seaborn on the free kick.
So 3 matches into this season. I think the squad's pretty well figured out who's taking what. You know, who's going to be on corners, who's going to be on set pieces, free kicks. This is Bunton.
We saw Fogarty score one last weekend in that 11-0 rout. So expect her to step on a free kick if we get one later on.
All ahead to Jacksonville. You see Nancy Almanza trying to backheel it onward, and a lot of physicality there. They're going to call the foul on Almanza as she was going head-to-head with Katarina Dantas.
Another interesting call there by the center referee. Almanza's been playing very physical as a striker, trying to get that FC Primetime back line to make a mistake. Ball gets played over the top.
Falls to Seaborn, has to just clear it out.
Ramirez trying to pick this one up now.
She'll come back to it. And now Jacksonville needs some composure here. You got a lot of yellow jerseys there in the attacking third. A giveaway would be extremely detrimental. Here's Button. Needs that one more touch. Big collision, but that was a 50-50 collision. Both players colliding together. Here's Brunner streaking down the near side. Sends across into the box. It is knocked away over the end line. And that will be another corner kick for the girls in blue, as Katarina Dantas forced to knock it away.
Brooke Bunton once again causing the commotion in the midfield, able to get that ball all the way to Sarah Brunner. Brunner burning her defenders like she does, putting in that cross. Can't find a blue jersey, but wins the corner.
This corner going to take place on the far side here at Patton Park. Appreciate everybody joining us. If you're watching on actionsportsjacks.com, that's good. You can do it on the app as well. Low in swinger, never had a chance into the outside side netting. Will be a goal kick for FC Primetime. As a reminder, you can also stream this to your smart TV. Just download the Action News Jacks Now app and click on that Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network link on there.
It's my favorite way to watch, Stuart.
Yeah, man. You get it up on that smart TV, up on the wall, big screen. You can definitely watch Fleet and Footy there every week, Thursdays or 2.
I like to rewatch myself sometimes, when the replays come on.
Yeah, that's not weird at all. Ball sent on by Jacksonville, still alive. Here's Almanza giving chase, but falls to Ella Stevens. That's a nice distribution from the FC Primetime keeper, and a dangerous moment there from Hayden Petrick. Able to keep her cool, get the ball before Jules Johnston had a chance to make a run.
That's how FC Primetime is going to get their goal tonight. Is an over-the-top ball in behind the defense, a quick transition out of defense into offense, catching the girls in blue off guard. Right there, you saw it come all the way from the goalkeeper.
Starting to see maybe a little bit of frustration out there as the physicality picks up from these visiting players.
Ball in behind once again.
Chase for it. Petrick will shield, but not well enough as Primetime has an opportunity outside the 6, knocked away and cleared off. Well done by Landry Bauer. Primetime, though, still in it. Here's Cheyenne Lamb. Edge of the attacking third, pushes ahead. finds Hannah Paul. Top of the 18. Cleared partially. A little bump and a push. How about Izzy Whitaker?
Nice.
Well done. Still alive and knocked down by FC Primetime. Some good defending there, and it had to be by Allie Maurissier.
That ball stayed over on that right-hand side a lot this second half for FC Primetime. They've looked like the more dangerous of the two teams, too, 10 minutes into the second half.
Well played by Jacksonville.
Ramirez
cross.
Finds Bruner all alone in space. Sarah Bruner, goal!
Into the back of the net. Sarah Bruner doubles the home team's advantage. Jacksonville goes ahead 2-0 in the 56th minute. What can you say about that?
Nothing but pace and pure speed from the number 3 down that right-hand wing.
And you saw it by Gianna Ramirez really setting up the action and pushing forward. But Sarah Brunner with her 3rd goal of the season, the Mandarin High School grad, played at USF a year ago.
That's a cross from left winger to right winger.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's good stuff. And it's a 2-0 lead.
Here's that quick transition from FC Primetime.
Johnston, middle of the field, doing work, but it deflects off a Jacksonville player. She had 2 teammates wide open on the flanks, couldn't find them. Now the Armada pushing forward again, right up the middle. Here's Izzy Whitaker sending it long. Sarah Brunner, see if she can get by the defender. Gets a piece of it, and this will roll out for a Jacksonville throw-in. Now's the time where you got to pounce. That 2-0 lead is perilous at best. They so often say when it's 2-0, that next goal is the biggest goal of the match, whether you make it 3, although, West Florida Flames, ignore that game, or it becomes 2-1. Here's Landry Bauer with the throw-in, ahead to Whitaker. Lets it roll by towards the end line. Some
nice
physical battles there, and they're going to call a foul on Whitaker there on that physical play. I have seen a lot on both sides, really, of trying to shield and trying to let that ball roll across the end line as opposed to taking action and clearing it out yourself. And it's burned both teams, really. You saw it there a moment ago for Jacksonville, where FC Primetime really had their best goal-scoring opportunity of the match. And you saw it in the first half a few times where the Armada earned corner kicks simply because that shielding did not work for FC Primetime.
I think it's a energy-saving tactic.
Foul called on Nancy Almanza.
Just to take more time in on their throw-ins and free kicks, just to regain some composure here in this 92-degree heat.
It's hot.
It is hot. It's got to be even hotter down on that pitch.
I got a nice breeze coming through here.
Well, now it's great for us.
It's not terrible. Sorry for our crew members here, just in the hot box, in the sauna. That's all right. It's a good day for soccer here in Jacksonville. Nicely done by Almanza. Looking ahead to Gianna Ramirez. Ramirez will give chase into the 18. Still has it. Down by the end line. Sends across and into the back of the net. That one, I believe, deflected off of the FC Primetime player for an own goal. Is that what you saw, Lou?
It looked like a Gianna Ramirez goal, if you ask me.
Okay, well, we'll give it to Gianna Ramirez. And I don't know. That's what I saw. I'm just trying to go off of what I saw. We'll give it to Gianna Ramirez. Why not? How about her 3rd goal of the season?
She only scores interesting goals.
Yes. That was interesting, right?
The FAU Owl product. But Creekside High School graduate.
That's right. We've said the locals on this squad, and we've mentioned quite a few high schools, right? Beachside, Creekside, Fleming Island, Mandarin, Ponte Vedra, Clay, Tokoi Creek, Oakleaf, Nice, Stanton, Bishop Kenny. Got it all covered. Here's FC Primetime. This is Morgan into the box, looking for help. Knocked away by Kylie Overstreet. Saw that her only option was knocking it across the end line and giving up the corner, but well-played ball there by Overstreet. So FC Primetime now finds itself down 3-0 in the 60th minute, but with a set-piece opportunity on the corner kick. Section 904 popping some smoke here as they do after each goal for the girls in blue. This one into the side netting, never had a chance. Will be a goal kick for the Armada. I guarantee you the coaches hate it when that happens. Corner kick wasted. We just saw one from Jacksonville a couple minutes ago. You send it into that side netting, never give your teammates a chance. as we hit our first hydration break of this second half, 60 minutes in. Chance to go grab some water. And Lou, I mean, quick strike, right? 2 fast-paced goals for the Jacksonville Armada to really take command in this one and jump out to a 3-0 lead over FC Primetime.
Yeah, you like to think that third goal is kind of an insurance goal, but we've still got 30 minutes of soccer here.
If we learn anything, if we've learned anything from this season, no lead is safe. As the girls in blue certainly showed, they were down 4-1 in the 85th minute against West Florida Flames and managed to pull back 3 goals for a draw. So go get some more, right? I mean, that's the only solution. Just go score some more. That's easy enough.
And this FC Primetime team is no joke. We've talked about it all game today, but they're also one of these undefeated squads within the Sunshine Conference. This is a massive matchup here on a Saturday in the WPSL. It's going to decide quite a bit for the postseason for all of these teams, as Jacksonville goes on to play 2 away matches after
3 days. Yeah.
After this match.
Yeah, Thursday and Saturday. It's tough. Well, I mean, you can't take for granted who you're playing. You can't worry about the opponent. You just got to keep your players as fresh as you can in that first one, and know that those are 2 very separate matches. You can't group them together. You mentioned the power rankings. WPSL puts out its top 25 power rankings each and every week. FC Primetime coming in 24th, and this is nationwide. So this isn't just here in the state of Florida, in the Southeast. In the nation, FC Primetime 24th in those latest power rankings. Other teams from within the Sunshine Conference, the West Florida Flames, we've mentioned Jacksonville drew with them a couple weeks ago. They are up to 16th in the rankings, and your Jacksonville Armada up to 9th in the most recent WPSL rankings and number 1 in the South. So big matchup here at Patton Park on a toasty Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it's really interesting how the league has shaken out. Obviously, you see these power rankings, and a lot of the teams are from that West Coast, but one of the premier conferences within the WPSL is this Sunshine Conference. Plenty of powerhouse colleges with fantastic Division I college girls programs around the state, and that's where a lot of these teams get their talent from.
I mean, you just look at the commitments / where they're playing on this roster for the Jacksonville Armada. Mississippi State, Auburn, USF, Navy, UNF, SMU, Appalachian State, Stetson. I mean, it goes on, and of course, between the pipes. How about Tennessee, the Volunteer? Morgan Weaver. You take a look at her. Great match so far for the 6'3" goalkeeper for the Jacksonville Armada out of Tocoi Creek High School. Home of the Toros. I like the alliteration. Tocoi Creek Toros. One of our newer schools in St. Johns County, along with Beachside, your Barracudas. Of course, I don't mind a little Fernandina Beach Pirates for you, Lou.
Thanks for the shout out.
Up there in Nassau County. We gotta get a pirate on this roster. Tell Goffey we need a pirate.
I tried Tommy. I'm trying to get on the men's roster, but Tommy won't give me the opportunity.
Not you. No, like an actual soccer player, someone who's good at playing soccer. Here's a corner for FC Primetime.
Dangerous ball.
Yeah. Middle of that box cleared out by the Armada. Now it'll be a throw-in for Primetime. They took that quickly. They understand that the clock is not their friend at this point in the 64th minute, down 3-0.
And it gives them an advantage. They get to, catch the Armada girls off guard in certain situations and try to put one away without them looking.
Come out of that hydration break. Takes a minute to kind of get your feet back under you. Here's a ball into the box by Primetime. Knocked away by Petrick.
Petrick has played fantastic so far today.
Here's Bunton. Here comes a run. This is numbers for Jacksonville. 5-on-3. Bunton, middle of the field. Keeps it, pokes ahead. So many options there and went straight up the middle. Had 2 runners on either side. But that one falls all the way back to Ellis Stevens, and the chance goes wanting. Here's Johnston on the other side, and it's Petrick for the Armada, who knocks it out to the side for a throw-in. But that was a great chance for the Armada.
We looked like the Blue Angels there coming into the attack, all fanning out towards that goal. Brooke Bunton just couldn't find one of her teammates. Unfortunately, plays that ball a little bit too far.
Maybe the girls in Blue Angels?
Oh.
Yeah, does that work? Ball into the box, headed out by Seaborn. I don't know. I feel like...
they just had the first woman pilot, Blue Angels, just recently.
We'd get in trouble. There is a team in Pensacola, so they would probably want that moniker instead, Pensacola FC. a very good team in the NPSL. Ball set to head now. Here's Gianna Ramirez on the far side, but the flag is up. It is judged to be offside by the Armada by, I don't know, yard and a half, it looks like. Was that a fish story? It was this big. There he is telling the folks at home, it was offside.
Yeah, we're in an interesting position here. He definitely has better eyes on it than we do, but, man, that must have been very close. As we get a full hockey line.
Hockey line changes here for the Jacksonville Armada as everybody's coming on and everyone is going off in their place.
I see Fogarty, I see Hines, I see Duncan. We'll get you some more of those names as they come on the pitch. But fresh legs and that number 6 stepping back into the midfield. FC Primetime better watch out with Liz Ann Fogarty off some after a massive break.
Bessman and Pontieri into the game. You mentioned Duncan. Whole new look for Jacksonville. Let's see how quickly they turn it around and get this group gelling together as Mia Duncan knocks that one around. FC Primetime, they have some numbers up, but that's a giveaway. And Bauer coolly plays it forward. Starting another run for Jacksonville. This one over the head of the central defender. Here's the Armada, a little poke ahead, looking for Pontieri. Not a bad idea by Peyton Thomas there on the far side to give it a little poke, try to find her teammate and allow Pontieri to achieve the brace.
I was going to say one of those downsides to maybe doing those hockey changes is something you mentioned. Can this new look team gel together? We just saw how well those girls came out of the halftime locker room and put on a clinic so far. So we'll see if these new girls can bring something different to the pitch.
I don't know. All of them were on the sideline warming up together, so maybe they were practicing connections there, Here's Morgan on the far side, working her way into the 18. Need a defender to cut forward, and does. Mia Duncan, strong run towards the attacker to knock it away. But there's a giveaway by Jacksonville, and Primetime sends it wide.
Lots of girls walking right now as we approach the 65th minute of a very hot matchup here at Patton Park.
Throw in for Primetime. By the way, we'll have these full highlights tonight on Action Sports Jack's Primetime. That's actually the name of our show. As you see Weaver come off her line to come grab it, I'll be back in the studio tonight at 10:30 on Fox 30 or 11:30 on CBS 47. We'll see you on Action Sports Jack's Primetime, as we call it. No affiliation with our visiting soccer team here this afternoon.
High flying ball.
We had it first. I'm just saying. They were prime last year. They saw how good our show was and said, we're adding time. As that ball gets away from Pontieri, looking for a foul, none given. Instead,
some more two-arm pushing there from the girls in yellow.
Gets a chance for the throw-in.
Pontieri just frustrated with the no call there.
Lots of Jaguars talk tonight on Primetime, Lou.
Got exciting. A lot of the intangibles. I'm ready to see the intangibles.
Tangibly rich. That's what you are. I've always said that. Into the box for the Armada's tally. Finds the foot. Oh, what an opportunity for Stella Jones there inside the 18. Just cannot convert. Again, Ellis Stevens has come up huge to keep this match as close as it has been in this showdown.
One of the leaders for the Bishop Kenny Crusaders on their Final Four run this year, Stella Jones.
Terrific season. Terrific season down by the river. Of course, Bishop Kenny, one of the 93 fields we've played at over the course of the Armada's history. One of the best views.
Fantastic
with a terrific view of the bank. Oh, they try the quick play, but nay, they say. Slow it down. Substitution coming in for Primetime. It's Alicia Colston who will replace Isabella Fernandez. And we mentioned they arrived with only 2 available substitutes. At this point in the match, they have just one. Actually, they'll wait on that substitute till the next time out. Here's Stella Jones for the Armada on that far side. She'll send it into the box, finds Bauer's head. Not a bad idea, just not nearly enough pace to find that back of the net or make Stevens have to work for it.
As we hit the 70th minute, you think we're going to see any more goals in this matchup?
I mean, that's my goal, for that to happen. Sure, we want the people to stick around. By the way, do stick around after the match. We'll have your post-match coverage.
And then keep sticking around after post-game. I'm pretty sure there's a Sharks game on the network.
Yeah, 7 o'clock tonight as we have a nice ball played forward by the Armada. As you see, Thomas goes right into the defender. earns a corner kick, but definitely wanted a little more from that run. And here comes that substitution. It won't be Fernandez. It'll be Maurissier coming off in exchange of Colston. Jacksonville Sharks. Obviously, we want you to head into the arena. Go check out some action tonight. Big one against the Arizona Rattlers.
Old school matchup.
A big old school matchup. These are a couple former Arena Bowl champions now playing in the Indoor Football League, the IFL. And 6-2 Arizona, 5-3 Jacksonville Sharks. Tyler Huff, your new quarterback for the Sharks, played at Ridgeview High School. Back to the soccer. Corner kick. High ball towards the penalty spot. Knocked away by Primetime. Landry Bauer going to keep it in. Little rip from distance. Maybe hoping it got shielded or maybe a deflection. Instead, falls right to Stevens.
I'm telling you, keep your eye out on number 2, Landry Bauer. Every game she continues to impress me more and more. And she's just been improving year on year on year. Petrick gives the ball away in a dangerous area to the substitute.
Colston. Now to Bessman, and Jacksonville gets it right back. Here comes the push. Brunner on the near side. Keeps it in, has Tally making that run. Back to the middle she goes for Stella. Stella Jones knocked down, and that will be a free kick on the edge of the attacking third.
Stella Jones with a quick free kick, finding Pontieri on goal. Can't get a touch on it.
Again, it falls to Stevens. She's really good in distribution as well. We've noticed that. Able to send it way down the field, which certainly plays into that FC Primetime philosophy of trying to go over the top, trying to catch your opponent sleeping and maybe find your attacker in the right place at the right time. 72nd minute, 3-0. I was mentioning post-match show. Louis Larandy, he'll be down on the field catching up with one of our stars of the game. To be determined. If you have any suggestions on who you want us to interview, let me know on Twitter, on the X. At Stewart A.S. Jacks is where you can find me. Go send me a tweet and let me know where you're listening or watching from. We want to know. We want to know how far this reach of the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network is. We like that you can watch it anywhere. It's good stuff.
Anytime, anywhere, any place. I know last year we had some of those Welshmen watching across the pond. It's been a game changer to be able to broadcast all Armada games on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, as well as Fleet and Footy. Is a tough challenge there.
Foul called on Peyton Thomas of the Armada, as both players kind of went down to the turf. But yeah, you mentioned it was a hard physical hit there.
As assistant coach Wale Lemieux argues his case for his girls.
I think he just did the mind-blown sense. Hands blowing from the head, and I like that move. That's a good one.
Got to be expressive in soccer.
That's right.
There's a lot of expression, a lot of hands.
I mean, Goffey's doing the same thing, pacing over there by the bench as well. So head coach David Goff, his second season here with the Jacksonville Armada women's under-23 side in their second season in existence. And what a storming of the field it has been for the girls in blue, coming from nothing to now being a contender here in the in the Sunshine Conference. It's very confusing that we have a Gulf Coast Sunshine Conference for the men and a Sunshine for the ladies.
Yeah, Goffey's second year here at the Jacksonville Armada, but not his second year in Jacksonville, has been coaching multiple ECNL teams here at Jacksonville FC and is now the ECNL Academy Director.
Chance for Primetime. This is Morgan in the box. Still, Primetime has it. Knocked down, and the flag was up. So all for naught as an offside is called on the visitors.
I mean, you go through head coach David Goff's resume, and it's really unbelievable. You've got coaching stints at Arkansas and Oklahoma, 2 powerhouse Division I colleges in the soccer sphere, as well as appearances on the coaching staff for the U-17 England team, as well as the full Jamaica team in 2023 World Cup as their video analysis. So he's been in some big roles in some big places, and so we're lucky enough to have him here coaching the girls in blue, hopefully to an undefeated season.
Johnston ahead to Morgan. Morgan, one more for her teammate. Shot right into the hands of Morgan Weaver. That was Hannah Paul with the Shot on goal for the visitors.
I don't know if Weaver hasn't been tested to move, but really, she's so big, it doesn't like she has to move sometimes for those balls.
Well, that one you send it right to the chest. I mean, that's going to be that's all you could hope for as a keeper. Is an opportunity like that. Is a little disagreement on the throw-in. They're going to give it to the line judge here.
We got some interesting calls.
Crowd gives it to him a little bit. Here's the throw-in. And Petrick, well defended.
I've been impressed with how the girls in blue have been able to regain possession, even if they make a mistake in their end of the field.
Nice little cross there with Brunner and Pontieri.
Brunner has fancy
so
footwork.
much space right in the middle of the field. Tries to poke it through to a running Pontieri. Does find
Hines.
Tally, but cleared out by Primetime.
KO. Not backing down.
Oh, Overstreet has... We've seen some of the more finesse plays, but also some physicality plays from her as well, which isn't necessarily a big part of her game, but look, if you're a 5'3" defender, you got to be able to stand your own sometimes, and she certainly has done it.
Well, someone's got to step up in the wingback position when Bella Faraday isn't here to put in a two-footed tackle.
This is Megan Morgan making her run. Petrick takes a swipe at it. Morgan keeps it in the box, right to the hands, and saved nicely by Morgan Weaver.
That was a nice little move to get around her defender. Megan Morgan has been one of the only attacking presence up there for FC Primetime. She's played a fantastic game so far. Hasn't found that breakthrough goal yet.
Yeah, it's been a good outing put in by both Johnston and Morgan in this matchup.
Hands all over Brunner's back. No call from the referee.
Now pushing ahead is Carolyn Beltran to Morgan. Petrick defending. Help from Stella Jones coming. This one knocked away, and it's a quarter kick for FC Primetime. 77th minute. Probably getting close to another hydration break, if I had to guess. See if we...
The clouds here have saved us a little bit.
The clouds have not been awful.
This is going to be the way FC Primetime scores. Over the top balls, off of a set piece, something that they can control.
It'll be Megan Morgan, the Florida Gulf Coast grad student. High ball up and off the top.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe trying
almost an Olympico.
Trying to find the Olympico there. Instead, it'll just be a goal kick for Jacksonville and another substitution coming on. For the girls in blue is your captain, Liz Ann Fogarty, makes her way back into the match. And Jacqueline Bessman goes to the sideline, as does every other player because it's the hydration break. All right, Lewis. 78th minute, 3-0. Jacksonville Armada have taken command of this one. Although FC Primetime has certainly had some nice opportunities here over this last 10 minutes. They haven't given up. They've put on some pressure and had some chances to try and find their first of the afternoon.
Yeah, I think that's why you're seeing number 6, Captain Liz Ann Fogarty, step back into the game. Kind of try to get the game under, some composure here. A lot of young girls out in the pitch. She's going to be a veteran leader voice out on that field, making sure that the girls defend properly and keep that pace of play just enough so they can see out this game to a 3-0 victory.
Or 4.
Or 5.
Or 6. See what happens here over these final few minutes.
We can't predict these WPSL matches. I'm expecting to see 3 more goals in the 90th plus minute.
It's been wild, and both teams stacked with talent. We have talked about how we expect if either team would have an advantage on the back end of this one, it would be Jacksonville due to the plethora of substitutes available on the sideline, and they've used them. They have kept players fresh and used a lot of different options throughout the course of this match.
Now, I'm excited to see who comes out here for the midfield for the girls in blue, because we've got Stella Jones and Liz Ann Fogarty, who are 2 solid midfielders. And then you got the same attacking front 3 you had at the beginning of this matchup. Pontieri, the goal scorer, playing that left wing role.
Tally Hines in there, Sarah Brunner still. Looks like Weaver's going to get the full 90. I know we've seen some matches where Goffey's been willing to swap keepers at the break.
Yeah, number 11, Tally Hines. She is more of a number 9, but it looks like she'll be playing more of a number 10 role, being that furthest midfielder forward out of
While wearing
the
number 11.
Yeah.
It's not soccer.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Soccer, man. I just, like, we couldn't come up. I mean, they have different names. I don't know why we have to put numbers.
Beautiful touch from Pontieri.
Well
Sends
done.
Bruner through on goal. Bruner with nothing but green grass and a goalkeeper in front of her. Bruner just wide.
Was a terrific opportunity there for Sarah Bruner. And you mentioned it. I mean, Pontieri just put it on the spot. Played it exactly where she needed to. We're getting ready for another line change for the girls in blue. 5 more substitutes. So that formation you were looking at a second ago, Lewis, it's going to go away. As we'll get some fresh players in here for this final stretch, final 10 minutes of our regulation. Jacksonville leading 3-0. Here's Fogarty. Nice little cut back. Pushes forward. Ahead to Pontieri. Takes a shot. Why not? Off the arms of Stevens.
1-3's got a boot on her now.
Yeah, put the keeper to the test a little.
Woke Section 904 back up.
Yeah.
Good shot.
Get the drums beaten.
We're going to be out here for a long time today.
It's a long day. It's a long day for the guys and gals. But that's how they like it. Here's Colston centering ball, but Fogarty will intercept.
Just so composed on the ball.
Knocked away. Here's Bauer. On to Jones. See if they start the run. Taken down. They say no foul. Jones sticks with it. Still alive. Still sticking with it.
Stella Jones.
Push it a little in the back. I bet she would have been called for a foul if they lost the ball there, but that's all right. Has to be cleared out by Stevens. As mentioned, the girls in blue will head on the road for their next 2, Thursday and Friday. FC Premier and then Florida Gulf Coast Dutch Lions. Don't know if they have any Dutch players on it. I was very disappointed at the Miami Dutch Lions men's side. I believe they have one Dutch player, just wasn't rostered when we played him a couple weeks ago. Brunner, a little out of her reach and out for a throw in FC Primetime. Next home match for the girls in blue will be 2 weeks from now on a Friday. So a couple Friday matchups still to come for the Jacksonville Armada here at home. And here comes that line change, Lewis.
Some more substitutes to call out. I definitely see Brooke Bunton coming back onto the field. Was instrumental in that first goal before the half.
I will quite simply say anybody who wasn't on the field before is now on the field.
Gianna Ramirez as well, up in the attack. And Nancy Almanza, who's been pestering that FC Primetime backline all afternoon. Hoping to see her on the score sheet today.
Long ball sent ahead. Whitaker giving chase. Well done by the defender for FC Primetime. Centers. Now pushed ahead. That one off the official.
I know the scoreboard says 3-0, but FC Primetime has hit the post 3 times today.
They've been very solid. We knew they would. This long ball booted. Looking for Morgan on the run. Head-to-head with Petrick. And this will go all the way to the end line and centered to Morgan Weaver. Yeah, that's the thing. With the rare exception of the Seminole Ice, you only get one chance against each team. Of course, Jacksonville will get a home and away with Seminole this year. But every other team they play, they will only play once because only one team from the conference will make the national playoffs.
Space in the middle. Beautiful touch from Almanza to keep that with herself. And ball goes out of play for an Armada corner kick. Whitaker is going to take the corner kick.
Another set piece chance for Jacksonville. Here is Izzy Whitaker on her right foot. Oh, Oh, nicely played by Ella Stevens. Keeper comes out to that 6-yard box and snags it. So Jacksonville leading 3-0 here in the 85th minute. As this match rolls on at Patton Park.
Kylie Overstreet been working well on that left-hand side.
Very strong performance by number 7, but here is Colston able to get that cross in, and the shot handled by Morgan Weaver. There's another good opportunity for Jules Johnston, but Weaver up to the task once again. Here's a chance for Jacksonville. Into the 18. Into the 6. Shot. Goal. Into the back of the net for the Jacksonville Armada. Make it 4. That's Brooke Bunton. We were wondering if she would be able to find her way onto the score sheet with the terrific performance she had. She had the great setup earlier. Now she earns a goal for herself in the 86th minute. Section 904 pops the smoke, waves the flags, and celebrates. Is that bagpipes? We got bagpipes, Lou. Some bagpipes down there.
Whoa, is that because I called them out on
there it
Fleet
is.
Footy? I wanted more.
You wanted a full brass band.
I wanted a trumpet or two, but I'll take a bagpipe. Oh, and I hear the bagpipe.
Yeah, we hear it now. Okay.
Wow.
Well, you know, we get the drums quite a bit, but the bagpipes is a nice. I like it.
Look at that shot.
For elevating. Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
An Oakley wearing bagpipe player only in the United States. Only in the United States.
That's right. How about it, Jacksonville? We're elevating our game here each and every week. Love to see it. So the Armada go ahead 4-0. Brooke Bunton, you were asking earlier if we were going to see another goal. How about another one right now? Izzy Whitaker, bastard defender, has help in the middle. It deflects. It's just rolling around in that 18. Finally cleared out by Primetime. It'll be an Armada throw-in. Another great chance for the Armada there with that ball just floating in the 18.
What kind of voodoo's in the air in these last 10 minutes of these WPSL matches?
I don't know, but I'm not mad about it.
Gives us some more exciting things
right.
to talk about.
Something to talk about for sure. And we'll have those highlights on Action Sports Jacks Primetime tonight. So if you missed any of the goals, well, you can watch the full match replay on actionnewsjacks.com later this weekend, or on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, or we'll have some highlights for you on Primetime and certainly on social media. Watch for my tweets. Stuart A.S. Jacks. Here is FC Primetime. A little collision, ball centered. And Liz Ann Fogarty says, all right, I'll just take my time here. We're in the 88th minute. Let's send it long. Little back and forth turn. Onside is Nancy Almanza. Now she's behind the defense. Just the keeper to beat. Takes a shot. And a goal! Nancy Almanza. 5 for the Jacksonville Armada.
Almanza with a fantastic strike across her body into that far side of the net. All alone. Just her and the keeper. And slots it away for the Armada's 5th.
And the bagpipes are going again. The girls in blue. Oh, I love it. Another substitute coming on for FC Primetime. In the 89th minute, Jacksonville now has gone ahead 5-0.
Now, these goals don't count for nothing. These are crucial in the goal difference within the league standings.
Yeah, we mentioned only 8 matches. Foul committed by FC Primetime. Stay with us for your post-match coverage. Louis Lorandi will catch up with one of our top players on the Jacksonville Armada. Let's see if they're done scoring first. Ball ahead to Izzy Whitaker, keeps it inbounds towards the end line, sends her cross, and never had a chance. Goes on to the top of the goal. 90th minute now, Jacksonville leading 5-0 here at Patton Park. Appreciate everyone joining us on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network for Jacksonville Armada Women's Under-23 Soccer and the Women's Premier Soccer League. It's been a fun summer thus far for both the boys and girls in blue. as mentioned, we will not have the broadcast tonight on the men's team in what is technically an away match, but here at Patton Park. So come on out. Patton Park, free admission, 7:30. Going to be an amazing atmosphere. Section 904 they will have been here for a long time, but I can tell you they will not have lost any steam for their afternoon for sure. Nor have Jacksonville, using those great line changes here late in the match, have had this ability to swap in fresh players, new legs, and that resulted in a couple of late goals, as Hearing will have 4 minutes of extra time. So we have reached the end of the 90. We'll get 4 more minutes of WPSL soccer. Appreciate everybody joining us. I am Stuart Weber, joined on today's broadcast by Louis Lorandi, who's headed down to the field to go catch up with one of our top players from the girls in blue. Big shout out to all of our staff here for surviving the weather. Ed, DR, and Dan running the cameras, and Dave Wax as well with the roving steady. Appreciate their hard work. Everybody back at the station in air conditioning. They're all right too. This ball cleared out by FC Primetime. As mentioned, the girls in blue. Next match will be on the road. Thursday night, they head to Florida Premier FC. And then Saturday afternoon to Northport Fusion FC. So back-to-back road matches, 2 in 3 days. A chance now for Megan Morgan on the run on that far side. Just can't quite catch up to it for FC Primetime. As for the visitors from Sunrise, next up for FC Primetime will be a home match against Florida Premier. That is next Saturday, so they get a full week off to rest those legs, to rehydrate, and to get back to it. Only 8 matches over the course of this WPSL season, so each and every match means that much more. Something to watch for as these standings take shape. Here's Johnston working her way towards the middle, but has a lot of yellow jerseys there. This one knocked away by the Armada. Falls to Morgan, defended by Bauer. Morgan cuts it back to the middle. Now cuts it back to the outside. And she'll find Hannah Paul. Back to Morgan. See if a shot. Off the mark. It'll be a free kick for the Jacksonville Armada. Hope you can join us every Thursday at 2 o'clock on Fleet and Footy. It's our hour-long soccer show each and every week on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. You can watch it on actionsportsjacks.com or on the Action News Jacks Now app on your smart TV. Louis Lorandi and myself talk all things soccer and a lot of Jacksonville Armada. Lots of former player interviews. I know Mason Tunbridge made an appearance last week. Jed Bowman the week prior. So catching up with some of these former players on the Fleet. As the Armada say, hey, maybe we go get a 6th. They push forward now. Nancy Almanza into the 18. Sent across. This one's still alive. Bouncing around and finally goes out. And looks like they're going to say the flag was up. So an offside call is the call against Jacksonville with a little over 1 minute to play. For those watching on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, reminder, we do have the Jacksonville Sharks home game tonight at 7 o'clock, taking on the Arizona Rattlers. You can watch that right here where you're watching this one. So catch a little indoor football after a little outdoor football. It's a day full of action on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. And then we'll break it all down on Action Sports Jacks Primetime tonight, as that was one of the more predictable offside calls you could ever have. Flag is up. Another offside on Jacksonville here in this final minute of play. Primetime, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:30 on CBS 47. We'll have those shows for you this evening. A lot of Jacksonville Jaguars talk. Our sit-down with Travis Hunter, as well as conversations with DeJuan Smoot, Travis Etienne, much more. Hope you can join us on Primetime as we get that final whistle of a 5-0 Jacksonville Armada victory. It was 1-0 at the half, but a second half explosion for the girls in blue leads to another 3 points and a clean sheet. Their third in 4 matches for Jacksonville. A terrific performance by Morgan Weaver between the pipes for the Armada. And a great win for Jacksonville as they earn the 5-0 victory. A terrific effort from the girls in blue. Still a couple more home matches to watch later on this season for Jacksonville. David Goff and his team topping the table. They got another big test coming up on Thursday with Florida Premier FC. As we take a look at Lewis and Morgan Weaver, we'll have them momentarily talking about this big victory for the Jacksonville Armada in that 5-0 win. And really just another one of those performances where the goal scoring was spread all around for the girls in blue, which is exactly what you want when you have such a deep and strong roster. Look, there's a reason they had as many subs as they did. They knew it was going to be a hot day as the girls in blue head on over to Section 904 to go celebrate with the ardent supporters of the Armada. You see Caitlin Seaborn there. She got the ice bag. You need the ice bag at this point in the match. But Section 904, as they do each and every week, serenading our players. And there we go. Lizanne Fogarty takes the smoke out onto the field. What a way to celebrate. As the girls in blue emerge victorious. 5-0. Don't burn anybody. Look out. 5-0. Your final score over FC Primetime. Let's go ahead and set it down now to Louis Larandy. He's catching up with Morgan Weaver, your goalkeeper for the Jacksonville Armada.
Join here on the field with the clean sheet keeper, her first start for the Jacksonville Armada, Morgan Weaver. Morgan, how does it feel to get that first appearance and that first clean sheet?
It feels fantastic. I'm ecstatic right now. The fans are fantastic. The team really fought out there. It was a really good game. It was fun to be a part of.
You mentioned the fans there. Not a lot of times we get these fan interactions in the WPSL. How does this make you play?
It motivates me extremely. It's just awesome to be part of the environment they create. It's fantastic, and nothing but gratitude for them.
You're one of the newer players on this roster. What was that pitch like that head coach David Goff gave to you to join the squad?
You know, the environment he was talking about, everything, the training, the team, all of it. Like, I can't say a bad thing. Like, they have been fantastic, and I love it.
An undefeated season so far. So what can the fans expect later on this year?
Playoffs, nationals, continue to be undefeated, clean sheets. Here we go.
Stuart, we love to hear that, and we love to hear a clean sheet we've got today. Thank you so much for joining me in the field.
Thank you for having me. Thanks, guys.
Back up to you, Stuart.
Yeah, I like the clean sheets. I like the playoffs. I like all the positivity going on with this Jacksonville Armada women's side as girls in blue get set to take a bow for Section 904 right here at Patton Park. There we go, a little celebration. Love to see. Hey, let's check out some highlights, shall we, in case you're just joining us. A terrific performance for the girls in blue against FC Primetime. And this was in stoppage time of that first half. And it's Pontieri into the back of the net. And this one really opened the scoring for both sides. And it looked like it was going to be just this great defensive struggle, back and forth. And how about it? Brooke Bunton did a terrific job sending that ball all the way into the box, and then Pontieri scores to make it 1-0. Early second half, and just like that, Sarah Brunner scores for Jacksonville to double the advantage. 2-0 at that point, and the Armada suddenly in business. A little bit of separation, but still far from decided. A couple minutes later, well, maybe that's when it was decided for the Armada, as this one goes in for Gianna Ramirez, credited with the goal to make it 3-0 for the Armada. Ramirez's third goal of the season thus far, and a great run down that far side to get, oh yeah, a little Selly. Throw the Selly in there. Love to see it. 59th minute for the Jacksonville Armada. They weren't done there yet, though, as a little later on in that second half, Jacksonville said, you know what, we need to pad that goal differential. We need to go and get every ounce of offense that we possibly can. They score a fourth, they score a fifth, and they go on to pick up the huge win, 5-0. Massive, as Louis Larandy would probably say. Let's take a look at some stats as you check out that fourth goal going in. We'll have your highlights for you on Action Sports Jacks Primetime a little bit later on tonight, but in the end, 10 shots on goal, 5 into the back of the net for the girls in blue, 7 corner kicks, no yellow cards for either side, quite a few offside calls as well over the course of this matchup. All right, well, that's going to do it for this WPSL action as the girls in blue emerge victorious. They earn a 5-0 victory here at home. Reminder, the boys in blue at home at 7:30 tonight, Patton Park. We will not have that stream, so if you want to see it, you got to come in person to check out some undefeated NPSL action, boys in blue, tonight at 7:30. But for now, we leave you with a 5-0 win for the Armada women's under-23 side. They remain unbeaten, and they hand FC Primetime their first loss of the season. A big result for the girls in blue right here on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Thanks for watching Jacksonville Armada Soccer on Action Sports Jacks 24/7, sponsored by a Live Credit Union.